Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Today, I wanted to create a video regarding how I overcame my anxiety and depression that I struggled with for a few long years. I've had some people ask me about it and kind of what I did to work through those times. So I thought it would be helpful if I just made a video about it for you guys because so many people struggle with anxiety and depression every single day. So first I want to say that before I started using some of these things that really helped me transition out of the anxiety and depression, I did see a therapist. I was on anxiety medication, depression medication, and I relied on those for a very long time. Don't get me wrong, they helped, but to me, the medication just simply masked the problem. I wasn't working through it. Anytime I felt anxiety or depressed, which was all the time, I was just taking medication and it was making me feel numb or nothing at all. So an example of that would be when I struggled deep in my eating disorders, I really struggled with holidays, especially Thanksgiving, because the anxiety of all the food around me and just knowing that the point of the holiday, not the real point, but everyone is just gathered around food. I always have hated how holidays revolve around food, and it just has always given me so much anxiety. So I would take medication to the point where I would just be almost like zonked out, like not present. And that's very sad to me because I'm not the only one in my family who remembers that memory that way, where I was just not mentally there because I relied on medication and the medication made me feel a certain way. So after I was strong enough to do so, I ended up getting away from medication as a personal decision because I wanted to kind of take care of the things I was going through in a more natural way. I didn't want to rely on medication. I didn't feel like me taking medication and masking the problem was truly my personality because it just wasn't me and it's not who I wanted to be anymore. So medication did occur probably first. Therapy also occurred. Therapy is amazing and I suggest it to anyone who struggles with any type of anxiety, depression, or really anything. It's good for anyone to talk rather than holding your problems in. So therapy was very helpful for some of that time. So I suggest that. Once you start learning what works for you and what doesn't, there are lots of other things that can help you rather than just those two things. And these are what I want to explain to you that really helped transition me and really changing my mood. So the meds, the therapy, something I really focused on was worrying about what's in my control. There are so many things out there in the world that are going on and you can worry about, stress about, think about, but how many of those things are in your control? Not a lot of them. So I kind of just started focusing on what I could control personally, and that helped relieve a lot of anxiety. I also tried to focus a lot on positive energy. So thinking positive, talking positive to myself internally and actually out loud. I would only surround myself with positive people. So there were a lot of people in my life who were dragging me down, who were negative influences on me, who, just was not relaying positive energy to me. So if it wasn't positive, I tried to get rid of it, and that really helped release anxiety and depression. Because when something is negative in your life, it makes you feel bad about yourself, and it makes you think negative about yourself. So something else that I started probably within the last year is reading daily devotions. So I read one a day or try to every day. And when I wake up, and that's the first thing I do, is read that devotion rather than checking social media. It truly changes my day. It's actually crazy how much of a better day and mindset I have from doing that. So that has been very helpful for me. I've always been grown up, with church and believing in God, but I don't think that you have to go to church to have faith. And reading those daily devotions and connecting it to my life and my situation has really helped me learn faith in my own way. So also, Obviously, this one you all know is exercise and nutrition has helped me drastically with my depression and anxiety. That's how, in the beginning, I dealt with it. If I felt depressed, if I felt anxious, if I felt anyway, I was at the gym. Now, that was a negative, that did give me negative energy for a while because I was abusing it. But after a while and now I've learned that only makes me feel better because I get to get away. It's a mental escape. Nutrition fuels my body and makes me feel good. So that's what I mean when I say nutrition and exercise. It really, helps reduce that anxiety and depression, because when I'm doing those things, I know that's, I feel on point, I feel my best, and it helps me reduce those things. So another thing is, I kind of touched on this with therapy, was talk. Don't hold it in. Anytime you feel something or feel you need to talk about something, talk about it. If you don't want to talk to someone, talk to yourself. Like, it sounds silly, but talk to yourself, or write in a journal, or type it in your notes on your phone, or something. If there's something heavy weighing on your heart and your mind, and you just let it sit there and don't do anything about it, it's going to make you feel so much worse. It's going to provide you with anxiety, eventually depression, and it is not good. So talk about it, write it out, get it out of your system, and you will feel so much better always. So another big one that I've learned and I'm still practicing is meditation. Meditation, it's kind of tough if you don't know how to properly do it because it's very hard to ease the mind, but there are lots of apps and articles and, with Google, the internet, you can learn how to meditate. Just easing the mind is so helpful and just gives you a sense of peace in your life. So I recommend meditation. Another thing, sorry, I keep looking this way because I wrote a list because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything, so that's what I'm looking at. So another thing is going on walks. So anytime I feel anxious or I just can't think straight, I feel like I need to move my body, I love to just go on a walk. I'll take my pup on a walk and I'll just get some fresh air. I'll focus on taking some deep breaths and just walk. And I can't tell you how much that helps relieve anxiety and just a complete mood shift. Even if you can only go on a 5-minute walk, go on the 5-minute walk. It will seriously change your perspective, get some deep breathing in, fresh air. It's crazy how much those things can really affect your mood. So next, I am absolutely obsessed with listening to podcasts and Audible books through my phone. I do not have a lot of time to just sit down and read a book, but when I do get that opportunity, I love to do so. But podcasts I love because they're informative, and I can listen to podcasts and book audibles while I'm in my car driving, which I do a lot of. So I'm constantly doing that rather than listening to the radio, and just constantly feeding my soul and educating my soul. And that has been extremely helpful to just kind of ease me. I don't feel so anxious in the car when you just hear the same songs playing over and over. Your mind just kind of goes elsewhere and you really focus in on what you're learning about, because what you're learning about is something you're interested in, and I really love doing that. So next, essential oils. I do use essential oils. I love essential oils. I find them extremely helpful. That might be personal preference. There's a lot of people who believe in them, a lot of people who do not, but they do work for me, and anytime I'm feeling anxious, I have certain essential oils I use, and they truly do help me. I already kind of touched on deep breathing when you're on long walks, but even if you are on a walk and you just feel anxious, you feel stressed, you feel, like depression's coming on, you feel sad, angry, anything, sit there, take a minute, take a deep breath. Take 3 deep breaths. It truly helps. I've always done that, tried to do it, and now I incorporate it as much as I need, and it is very helpful. So take your deep breaths. And then the last couple of things I want to touch on is, this one is major for me, is self-care. So self-care, you can go a lot of different ways with this, But when I say self-care, I don't necessarily mean pampering yourself. Don't get me wrong, that is part of it because I love doing that and it helps me just to go get a massage or go get a pedicure or go to the gym or go do this or do that. That type of self-care does ease my mind and does help with anxiety and depression and all of that good, sense of ease. But also just literally taking care of yourself internally by doing all of the things that we've just talked about. That is all self-care. Fueling your body, staying hydrated, exercising, just moving your body every day, going on walks, educating yourself. All of those things are self-care. Talking well to yourself, telling yourself it's okay to mess up, but just don't unpack and live there. Move on. All of that type of stuff is what I mean by self-care. And that really has changed so much for my life with my anxiety and depression. Just learning and realizing what you deserve as a person and not settling for less than that. And just pushing towards your goals and what you truly want in life. All of that revolves with self-care and is truly helpful. And then the last thing I have on my list here is just the people you surround yourself with. So who you surround yourself with will reflect your energy drastically. You don't think this, but it's extremely true. So surround yourself with people you want to, you support or that motivate you or you look up to. Surround yourself with people who are better than you so you can continue to better yourself. So just constantly surrounding yourself with positive energy will be a game changer. Because if you're surrounding yourself with negative energy, people who talk down to you or talk down to themselves, that's going to reflect on you and your mood, and you don't need that type of energy in your life. So find good people, take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your mind, take care of your soul, and just be good to yourself. All of those things that I just told you, that list of like 15 or 20 things, has literally changed my life for the better. And I would not be where I am right now without any of those things. So try some of those out. Let me know if they're helpful to you. And I hope you have a good day.